The scene opens in 1904, where a young woman named Sabina Spiel, who basically had the shortest fuse in Switzerland, is diagnosed with mental instability, which, back then, was every doctor's favorite label for anything they didn't understand. She's sent to Bergholze, the famous psychiatric hospital in Zurich, where she meets a Swiss doctor named Carl Jung. At their first meeting, Dr. Carl sits behind her, like he's watching a movie, just observing Sabina's stammer and shake while trying to answer a few basic questions. The next day, the two of them decide to take a walk in the woods, because nothing says healing like wandering through a forest with a total stranger. There, Carl discovers Sabina has a trick. She predicts what people are going to say. According to her, it's an inner angel that whispers spoilers to her in German. Carl, already hooked, says this could really help if she ever wanted to be a doctor. Things heat up when Sabina drops her coat and Carl, being the gentleman he is, tries to dust it off, but Sabina flips out. She hates being helped like that. A few days later, Carl finds out she's not just some crazy patient, but a fully trained and brilliant doctor herself. Excited by her potential, he invites her to help with his research. Sabina jumps at the chance. After all, who wouldn't want to work with the top dog of psychoanalysis? Meanwhile, Emma, Carl's wife, gives birth to a beautiful baby girl. Carl does the proud dad pose, but Emma is disappointed it wasn't a boy. Go figure. Carl tries to calm his wife down, saying it's nonsense, but anyone who's seen a woman right after giving birth knows better than to argue. In the middle of these domestic dramas, Carl and Sabina keep up their sessions and discover her issues come from a violent father who mixed slaps, kisses, and some weird humiliations that Sabina, brace yourself, actually enjoyed. And brace yourself again, that's why she got turned on when Carl tapped her coat with his cane. Yep, Freud explains. Literally, because Carl soon sets up a 13-hour meeting with none other than Sigmund Freud.
After their chat, Freud tells Carl to look after Otto Gross, a psychiatrist as nuts as he is brilliant, who besides biting, metaphorically, loves spreading kids around. Otto, in a burst of love guru energy, suggests Carl should have an affair with Sabina to spice things up. Monogamy is oppressive, says Otto, who clearly never paid child support. At first, Carl holds back, but temptation wins. Sabina hits him with a movie-worthy kiss. Carl still tries to resist, but after another motivational session with Otto and a park rendezvous, he gives in. He goes to Sabina's place and kicks off a steamy affair with all the kinks Freud could dream of jotting down in his notebook. Things get so hot that Sabina asks for heavier stuff, spanking, bondage, the works. Meanwhile, Emma, clueless, gifts Carl a sailboat with red sails, calling him the best husband in the world. If it were me, at that point I'd have ditched everything and gone sailing solo on Lake Zurich. But Carl keeps up the double life. Perfect family man by day, Sabina's wild side by night. When Freud catches wind of the affair, Carl lies through his teeth. Sabina, furious, calls him a traitor and ends up slashing his face. If it were me, honestly, I'd have quit psychoanalysis and opened a watch shop in Geneva. But Carl still tries to save his own skin with a half-baked letter to Freud. Years later, Sabina, now a doctor and pregnant, visits Emma, who reveals Carl has totally lost it and only has apocalyptic nightmares now. And Freud? He wants nothing to do with his ex-friend. Sabina heads back to Russia with her husband and baby on the way. One last fun fact. This story was directed by David Cronenberg. Yep, the same guy who did The Fly. So if you thought this was bizarre, imagine if Cronenberg had thrown in some body mutations. And did you know actress Keira Knightley trained for months to nail Sabina's Russian accent? Talk about dedication. So if you were Carl Jung, would you have told Freud the whole truth right from the start, or kept it a secret forever? Drop your answer in the comments. I'd love to hear your take. Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and stay sane so you never end up in a hospital like this one. Take care, and I'll see you in the next video.